So now we're on to the editing step. So you've gone to upload and you've uploaded your video. Let's assume this is the long video. So we've uploaded a 20-minute, 1-hour video. Now we've got to edit the video. So we go into the second step, which is edit the video into chapters really. Now I've got a couple of videos here, and this one here is a webinar that I've recorded. I recorded in Zoom and I was filming with Liz Collius, my colleague, and I've literally just uploaded it directly from Zoom. I have two options here: remove parts of your video or trim, which is top and tail into chapters. So let's first think about which one we'd use and why. I would use the cutting feature to remove parts of your video. So what do I mean by that? So I've got an hour-long video. There might be, in the middle of the Zoom meeting, I might have run a poll, or I might have had a got up and gone and done something because it's a discussion with Liz and I, or I might have had a coughing fit. That's the kind of thing I would call cutting, where we're tidying up the video. We're going to cut parts out that we don't want in there. So let's click on cut and just explore how that works. When we arrive at the VidVersity editor, the video plays up here. All right, so we can see this video is 19 minutes long, and this is where I watch the video to really understand what parts I want to cut out and start editing it. So I'd click on play traditionally and I'd be starting to watch it.
Let's five different people and everyone says hello.
And I might get to a point where I want to cut something out. What I do is I go down here and I say mark in, and I keep going back up to here and watching it.
Now registered for a company
and stop. That might be where I want it to resume, and I say mark out. I've got these plus and minus signs to help me really get to exactly where I want to, because sometimes you might not quite have got it where you hoped. Once you've done that, you click on add cut. And what that's saying is there's going to be one cut removed from this video, and it's going to be from that period to that period. And then I just keep going.
Send care packages to myself
and I'd be watching my video. And I might get to another point where I hear a dog barking, for instance. Again, I could mark in. I use this play button. So this is the one that I'm watching.
Into boardroom.
Mark out. I'm ready for it to come back in. And add cut. So you can add as many as you want inside a video. And when you are ready, title the video. So what I would traditionally do, if this was my webinar, I would call this the cut version of my webinar. And then you click on process all cuts and a new video will appear down here. Now the thing to be mindful of, particularly in our workshop, that's a 19-minute video. For me to cut out a few parts of it and process it, what is actually happening is we're building a new copy of that video, and that's an important thing. We are not removing the original video. We're building a new copy of it and taking out all those parts that you've asked to be removed. So that processing, for instance, here was a 19-minute video. It took about half an hour to process that. So think about if that's something you want to just know about, or it's actually something you want to do for the purpose of the workshop. Because when you're working with videos, it can take a lot of your time to actually get things to process because videos are really large. But that's the first step. So just to recap, under videos, I went to my large video and using the cut feature, I went into cut and I decided going through it, there were some parts that I just felt needed to be removed from my video, and I used that. So that's step number one. If there's anything you need to tidy up, you might want to use that cutting feature. Whereas trim is the world. So here's my cut version. So that's my original one that I would have thought about cutting and tidying up. Here's my cut version of the webinar where I've removed those bits that I don't want in there. Now I'm ready to be thinking about getting my planner out and starting to break up my video into the chapters that I've put in my planner. So let's go into trim. So we've now got what was a 19-minute video has now been reduced to 18:28 because I've removed some parts of it. So this is my clean video. And again, the way I work with it, this is the video I watch. I sit here and watch the video.
Yes, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
fast forward a little bit for the
really-
purpose of the demo. And I'm going to tell VidVersity that I want to make that a chapter. So what am I talking about? I want so I'm going to say mark in is already set at 0, and I'm going to say mark out. So let's really think about what I've done here. I'm saying I want to create a new video from our large video. I want it to start at 0 seconds and I want it to finish at 29.1. Again, I can use the plus and minus signs to just get it just right so that I make sure I'm not cutting someone off, for instance. Good idea to put them in the category that you're working in. So this might be an OH&S training. Categories is an important thing to understand, and you may have watched the video on categories, but there is a video just to help you understand the categories. It's just a filing system to help make sure you can find videos. But I want this to be my chapter 1. So I personally put numbers in there, and I'd say this might be an introduction. And what I'm going to then do is click on cut and save. And you'll see another copy down here has appeared. And this is the new video that I've just created. And it starts at 0 and it goes to 29 seconds. Whilst that is processing, I can continue to edit. So how do I do that? I go back up to here. Again, this is where I'm watching my video. And remember, we finished at 29 seconds. So the mark in is at 29 seconds, ready for me if I wanted to just start the next chapter at exactly the same point of where I finished the last one. It's ready for me, but you don't have to be there. I might have had a little break where we were just chatting, and then I'd watch it a bit and say,
everyone down there.
actually, I want my next chapter to start
I ring every day about
here. So I stop and click mark in. And see, that's 34 seconds. I'm saying my chapter is going to start at 34 seconds, 0.9. And you keep watching it.
different people, and everyone says hello. No, as we know,
Click on stop because I've naturally come to a stopping point. And you'll start to see now when you are filming. So there's a trigger to say my video has just been done, which is great. When you are filming, you might want to just put a signal or a piece of paper saying scene 2, chapter 2. Just makes it easier when you're cutting it up and editing. You might not have to watch the whole video again. But here, I'm starting my chapter at 34:09. I've got to this natural point where I'm just finished something and I'm going to go mark out. And I'll call this 2 and I'll call it something meaningful, understanding webinars. The titles can be changed at any time, but it does make it so much easier if you make them meaningful while you are watching them. Again, so I'm getting rid of all the blue. I just want the green. I can tweak if I think that's not quite right. I just give it a little bit more and click on cut and save. And again, I'm making another copy of this video down here, or a new copy, I should say. And it's just from 34 seconds to 124. So now is a really good time to go and have a try. So let's see if you can have a go at making at least 3 chapters from your large video. And to recap, back on the dashboard, it's under edit videos. You find your big large video. You may have removed parts. For the purpose of the webinar or this workshop, it might just take a little bit too long if you've got a large video, so you might just focus on the trim for now. Click on trim, and our goal is to break this video into the chapters you've already put in your planner. And the way we do that is we watch the video and we use the mark in, mark out to decide when the chapter starts, when the chapter finishes, and then we click on cut and save. There is also in the resources just a little step-by-step guide, just a one-pager to reiterate these steps. So if you wanted to print that out and use that as a step-by-step guide to go through this process, It can get frustrating. You might never have done editing before and feel a bit overwhelmed with the timelines. The thing I say, I've got two things with advice. One is we never cut the original video. So really do not panic that you're going to lose what you started with. You might get a bit frustrated, but you can always go back to that original video. The second thing is nobody in the world gets to see this until you decide to publish it and make it available. So have the confidence knowing that we're not going to cut the video, the original video, to just have a play and get a sense of how this concept of chapters is created. Because a big part of making the learning engaging is, rather than dumping this whole video out there for your learners, really thinking about the best way to deliver this content in chapters that are meaningful and make it really accessible for the learner to dive into the parts they're particularly interested in. So have a go and know that it can get overwhelming a little bit when you start out with editing, but hang in there and use your planner to break this down into the chapters.